One of the most historic and picturesque pieces of land in the state, Gunshine Manor is located on 160 hillside acres east of Redmond. On December 17, 1890, the original homesteader, James Stryker, received Homestead Certificate 3361 for a 160-acre quarter section in the Washington Territory from President Benjamin Harrison. This certificate, known as a land patent, transferred ownership from the Washington State Territory to James Stryker. The property changed hands 4 times over the next half-century. Its owners, including Wilbur Coleman, editor of Sports Afield magazine, who used the property as a hunting retreat, and the log cabin as storage shed for clay pigeons, and William F. Nemi, owner of the Sportsman Outfitters store Eddie Bauer, who named the property Gunshine Manor after discovering the gun closets of the main residence were empty. On February 4, 1957, Nemi sold Gunshine Manor to William C. and Barbara Nelson Jr., and although nobody knew it then, it would be an important date for thoroughbred racing in the state of Washington. William Nelson Jr. and Barbara Shackelford married December 4, 1945. A gifted athlete, Nelson played football on scholarship at the University of Washington, where he lettered 3 times on the freshman and varsity teams. After graduating from the UW, he attended Harvard Business School, where he gained his MBA. Professionally, Bill Nelson was CEO and president of Dawson & Company, a contractors insurance and bonding company, and was considered an industry pioneer in his field, receiving numerous awards and accolades until his retirement in the 1980s. Barbara Nelson graduated magna cum laude from the University of Washington, and during her senior year became only the 2nd woman elected class president in UW history.
The farm was great. It was lots of big fields, not small fields, big fields, and nicely fenced and stuff, and lots of loafing sheds there for the horses to go under. It was approximately about 50 acres, I believe. And the barn was pretty nice barn. She loved the horse breeding. It was her deal. It wasn't her husband's deal, it was her deal. And she would go around to all the farms and check out stallions and one thing or another. Bill was a businessman, strictly business. Everything was business as far as it goes. And even when he came home, he would sort of do the business stuff, call people up and one thing or another. It's pretty good at his job, I guess. So must have done. It's got a nice place. When Mike was little, Mike Nelson, he's the youngest. I used to bite his arm, or pretend to bite his arm. And so every time I go over there, he'd stick his arm out, want me to bite his arm. Now he's like 50 years old.
Under the Nelson stewardship, Gunshine Manor prospered as a polled Hereford and thoroughbred breeding farm. The 124-acre equine facility included a main barn with 13 stalls, 2 foaling stalls, turnout paddocks, surrounding pastures, and 1.25 miles of wooded trails. Starting with riding horses, the couple bred their first racehorse in 1962. Actually, Barbara's riding adventures began in 1960 when she bred her riding horse and found it was fun. She also learned there wasn't much of a market for Anglo-Arabians and decided to breed thoroughbreds, acquiring her first mare, Triple Punch, from an advertisement in a South Centre paper. Apparently, Barbara Nelson was a natural. Among the many fine stakes horses bred were 3 Gottstein Futurity winners, Prince Joda 1971, Krupa 1985, and Favored One 1994. The latter, a filly, would go on to win the Grade 2 Princess Stakes at Hollywood Park and twice be named Washington champion. In fact, her legacy continues as Lexi Lou, granddaughter of Favored One, defeated 14 males in the 2014 Queen's Plate last month in Canada's most important race.
Lexi Lou asserting there, We Miss Artie, diving inside is Amise Holiday, and Lexi Lou has taken the lead. They are in the last 16th of a mile. The filly was fabulous this afternoon. Lexi Lou wins the 155th running of the Queen's Plate.
The Nelsons were benevolent citizens, devoting time and efforts to numerous causes, and also were longtime members of the Washington Thoroughbred Breeders Association.
When I think about Bill and Barbara Nelson, I think about, my freshman year in high school, actually at Seattle Prep. I met their son Mike, and when we did meet through a mutual friend, through the racing industry, we connected right away because his parents were in the business and I grew up in the business. So we spent a lot of time together, and I spent a lot of time at their farm actually on Fridays and Saturday nights when they weren't home. But when I did finally get to meet them, they were the most caring people I've ever met. Bill was a great guy, great businessman. Barbara loved her horses. She raised horses to sell. She raised horses that she cared about, and she wasn't afraid to keep them. The best thing about them was that they had a great family, they loved their family, and they loved their horses the same way as their family.
In all, Gunshy Manor bred 15 different stakes winners, stood 3 sires, compiled numerous top 5 rankings, both in races won and money earned, and added 2 more state champions, Norm's Nephew and Margot's Gift, both of whom competed at Emerald Downs. Norm's Nephew was state champion 3-year-old of 2005, and Margot's Gift earned championships as top 2-year-old of 2007 and top 3-year-old of 2008. In fact, Margot's Gift thrilled Northwest Racing fans when he shipped to Monmouth Park and scored a 26-1 upset in the $250,000 Favorite Trick Stakes, while ridden by Ricky Frazier.
And Margot's Gift dashing through at the rail, and Margot's Gift is coming the best. Margot's Gift, a 26-1 upset.
William Nelson Jr. died in September 2004, and Barbara Nelson passed away in October 2006, but their legacy survives with sons Buff, Brian, and Michael, daughters Janet and Mary, along with spouses and grandchildren. And tonight, William C. and Barbara Nelson Jr. are enshrined in the Washington Racing Hall of Fame.